I've been using this Canon R50V for video for quite a few months now, and with the right lens, this is a powerhouse in low light. But I wanted to see just how good it can be as a stills camera, bearing in mind that this camera was actually designed for video and for vlogging. I think there's a hidden secret to this camera. I think it could be fun. And what better way to test my theory out is as a tourist in Sydney. Let's go. I'm a real sucker when it comes to over-planning trips. I have a day in Sydney to myself, and that means I've got to cram in as much as I can. Sydney Opera House, Sydney Harbour Bridge, Sydney Tower, you know, all the Sydney icons. And I want to get to those places as a serious photographer. I have to fit it all into about 10 to 12 hours, and I just don't know how I'm going to do that. I've got a plan, I've got a timetable, and I haven't had breakfast. My first port of call is Haymarket, which is home to Chinatown. Back when I lived here a long time ago, it was almost run down, very traditional Chinatown. But now, looking at the building behind me, you can see everything is modernised. That's going to make for some really great photos. And according to my schedule, I've got about 15 minutes to get a whole bunch of photos. Wow, so you know how you have these expectations. Like the last time I was here, everything was much more traditional, and now it's this modern, and I love modern Chinese, modern Asian, but I just feel like it's all been homogenized. It's all food and bars. So that's kind of put me at a bit of a loss. I had a fair amount of time scheduled for this area, but that's okay. It means I've got more time for other things later on. Anyway, my next stop is Chinese Gardens, which is actually just around the corner. Well, that's buggered my plans. It's 9:15, doesn't open until 10. What is this city? I thought, because it's the city of the night, not the city of the morning. I should still be able to get some pictures from outside. After all, look at this. I guess with the garden being closed, gives me a little bit of a chance to talk about this camera and my early impressions as a stills camera. It's fun, like there's no doubt about it. It's compact enough to just keep in your pocket or your bag. What's really great about this camera though is that you have the versatility of being able to change lenses. In terms of functionality, there are a couple of little weird things. There are two dials here, and the main dial here on the right adjusts the shutter speed. I'm finding myself accidentally rotating the scene selection, which flicks between my 3 video options, and that's a bit of a problem because when I'm in a rush, if I'm flicking that shutter speed around and I switch to video, I'm going to miss the shot. So that's just a case of getting used to the placement of the dials. The kit lens that comes with this camera is a 14 to 30mm, which I find is actually a really, really good range. The main problem I have with this is it's all electronic. So when you want to zoom in, you're limited to the speed of the zoom, which is actually quite slow. And you can slow it down even further, which is perfect for video. And I have to keep in mind that this is a video camera and not a stills camera. However, put on any other lens and you have that ability to just zoom in really quickly when you need to. People around for a Friday morning. If this was Melbourne, it would be swarming with people. Town Hall. Behind schedule. I had such a good lead and now I'm 10 minutes behind. So I'm racing to the next location, which is a very famous fountain, but famous for different reasons than you might think. It's a real shame there aren't 10s and 20s of people in black suits. Still don't get it? All we need is a woman in red. This is the fountain from The Matrix. Alright, that's 10 minutes. Time to get to the next location. So my trip to Rome, I planned a 30-kilometre ride. I even mapped it out before I left. And then I ended up not riding it and walked it instead. It was 35 degrees Celsius, absolutely mental. But what a fantastic trip. And I got in all the highlights. So the biggest tip I have for doing these kind of trips is make sure you plan everything. Plan out where you want to go and allow yourself time to get between your locations and allow yourself the time to take the photos that you need. It's no good stopping for 5 or 10 minutes because you just feel rushed. And the last thing you want as a photographer is to feel rushed because you'll end up coming away with photos that aren't as well considered and quite often are just full of silly mistakes, both compositionally and technically. So give yourself 20 to 30 minutes at each spot and longer if you know it's going to be even better. Stick to the plan. You've got to stick to the plan. But saying that, plans do go awry. And if you come unstuck, you can't lose it. Otherwise you'll get nothing and you'll end up hating the whole experience. I have a B list. And it's important that you have that B list. You have that plan B. Because plan A doesn't always happen. There it is. But over there, I want to get underneath the bridge at that point. It looks like a perfect day. Not a cloud in the sky, which is going to make for some incredible looking photos. Maybe a black and white. Get some high contrast. Get that natural gradient in the sky. I saw an image recently. The photographer, hi Ben, must have had
a pretty crappy sky, so he's had to blend in a bit of a gradient to make it look really cool. I'm hoping I can, and sorry Ben, but I'm hoping that I can emulate that, but all natural. I don't know about the gradient. Maybe if I had a polarizer on, but I don't actually have one for this little camera. Nice little picture here. Because I'm not still used to this camera as a photography camera, I just put it into full manual mode. There is no point me trying to muck around with different settings. I know where the aperture control is, and I know where the shutter speed control is, and I can access the ISO if I need to. It was cool. I would much rather just concentrate on the shot and adjust the light with either the aperture or the shutter speed. It's really simple. A bit more difficult in the low light, but I do have a better lens for that as well. That 14mm only just gets it in. But my God, it's how the other half moves. $14mm is definitely not wide enough. Even though I said don't rush, I still feel like I'm rushing. And I feel like I'm not taking the time to consider the best shot. But I did get the shot I wanted, and that's the main thing. That was quite a walk from the bridge to here, and it doesn't look like it's very far. It took me probably 30 minutes, and I kind of got really distracted. It did get pretty hot, so I had to buy the obligatory tourist hat, which is perfect, and of course a good drink. So I think I've got 20 minutes at the Opera House. Bit of a shame we've got a fence here, which means I can't get up the stairs. Some stairs across the way going up to a park. I might give that a go, but I really wanted to get a really low angle shot from the top of the stairs, and that's just not going to happen today. Plans don't always come to fruition, so you just kind of got to do what you can. I got a shot. It's an okay shot. And I think the Canon did quite well with it. Opera House done. It's a shame I couldn't get up the steps, but I think I've got some okay shots anyway. Next stop is Cicular Quay, and I'll be jumping on the Manly ferry.
Glieli represent Tracy Story.
I want to give you some final thoughts on the R50V. Loads of fun. It's super light. I can change lenses when I need to, but this kit lens for a day like this is perfect. The only complaint I have is I can't really see the back of the screen when the light's like this, so I have to rely on the histogram extensively. I actually really recommend getting this. I did buy this for video and it cost me about $1,500 Australian with the kit lens. But you know, absolutely worth it. So yeah, now I'm going to run for the ferry. I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait until next week to see that. So hit that notification bell if you haven't already, and you'll get notified as soon as I upload that video, because it promises to be incredible, and I will see you in that video.